Welcome back, everyone. Today we're jumping into the exciting world of credit cards. Now, some people, like Dave Ramsey, hates credit cards, think they're the worst thing ever. You got other people on the other side of the fence, like Graham Stephan, who thinks they're great and super useful tool to build, reward points, things like that. We're going to talk about both sides of the argument and see which one we end up on. My name's Steven Vanderhook. Let's go. We all know Dave Ramsey absolutely hates credit cards. You only have to watch his channel for like 10 minutes before someone will call in saying that they have a bunch of credit card debt and he's going to cut them off and say, hey, get rid of your credit cards, shred them up, throw them in the incinerator, never touch them again, never use a credit card for the rest of your life. Then there's always people who are very kind and helpful in the comments who say, Dave's an idiot. Of course, the credit cards are awesome. I have lots of rewards and I even do credit card churning, and every 6 months I go on a free vacation. So if this is the case and people can do this and take advantage of these reward programs, why does Dave Ramsey take such an extreme stance and say never have a credit card? That's a much more interesting question than saying, okay, here's why credit cards are bad and here's why they can be good. Forget that. Let's ask, why does he have this extreme stance? Now, of course, there is a small percentage of credit card holders who never pay anything on interest. Full disclosure here, I do keep a credit card, I do keep a balance on it, I put a lot of regular purchases on there, and I've never paid a cent in interest, had it for over a decade. So where I'm coming from, yes, I see room that you don't have to take the most extreme stance. However, I am in general pretty cautionary when it comes to credit cards. I only have one, and I really only do some simple purchases on it. I don't do anything crazy. For most people, honestly, I think you're better off without a credit card, without teasing yourself about getting rewards, getting Sky Miles, whatever. Let's jump into it. Because, there are some people who only pay, they never pay any interest. And they only pay the balance. They pay it off in full every single month. And they use it to build their credit score and to get some rewards and whatever. Cool, right? But the reality is, most people don't fall into that camp. Most people, they think they do, right? They have good intentions and they say, oh yeah, I'm just going to get a credit card, whatever. And it's just a matter of time, right? It's just a matter of time until eventually you start buying things that you can't afford, or you start realizing that you bought a little bit more than you thought you did. So you're going to be in the negative and you don't want to have a withdrawal penalty from your checking account. And so you only pay off part of the balance, and then you catch up the next month and pay the rest of it off, right? A lot of people play that game, but the reality is most people, they have a lot of credit card debt. Right? So we talk about some have, they never pay any interest. Some they do on occasion. And a lot of people, they just carry a balance every single month. And that balance just rolls and rolls. And that's the majority of people who have credit cards, in my opinion. I mean, it's a lot of people. I mean, on average, every household has $8,000 of credit card debt in America. That is so much debt, right? Especially on credit cards. We're talking about between 12, 15, even 20% interest. Why does Papa Dave just absolutely hate credit cards? It's because the reality is most people keep that rolling balance and it just keeps them in poverty, right? You'll never escape debtors. You'll never escape debt. When you have a credit card and you can't control your spending and you're always spending more than you have, you're just going to stay in debt forever. So that's why he takes such an extreme stance. Obviously, he's not an idiot. He knows that some people can keep a credit card and never pay any interest and keep it under control. But he's not going to make a small footnote for like 1% of people, right? Like, why would you do that? If his goal is to get people to financial freedom and say, hey, you really got to get out of debt and never use it, I'm going to make an exception and make a footnote. The reason he doesn't do that is because then obviously everyone's going to think that they're the exception, right? Just like how 90% of people think they're better than average at driving. Obviously that's not true. Am I better than average? I don't know. Maybe not. I don't even know how you assess who's good at driving. But I'm probably not that great, even though I like to think I am. And that's the reality, is everyone likes to think that they're the exception to rules and that they can say, oh, well, you know what? He's giving good advice, but I can keep my credit card. Let me give you a rule of thumb. If you have financed anything at all, I don't care if it's LASIK surgery, your new appliances, your car, your vet bills, your new Gucci handbag you wanted to buy, whatever, it doesn't matter. If you financed anything within the last 3 years, just do yourself a favor and don't have a credit card. Right? You're just not helping yourself, because yeah, you might think I'm missing out on all this opportunity, and that's what credit cards want to do. They play into those emotions, right? Those companies, they play into your emotions. They say, look at this cool lifestyle of travel and luxury, and it's all for free. You don't want to miss out on it. Sign up for your free credit card now, and then we'll waive the first annual fee, and next year we'll hit you with a big annual fee, and you'll keep it on going on. They do that to get you emotionally involved, and so you don't want to miss out on any opportunities, to think you can have all these free opportunities and these free rewards. Well, I hate to break it to you, but credit card companies, they're in it for money. Just like every other company, right? They want to make money. They want to be profitable. And they are very profitable and they're very good at what they do. They're very good at marketing. And the reason they do all this is not out of the kindness of their hearts. It's not why you can get free vacations and free sky miles and free trips at your hotels or whatever, and double miles this month for local stores and groceries, whatever, playing these games of double points, triple points. All of that, that's not out of the kindness of their heart. Right? They don't just give that away because they love the people. They give it away because they know they're going to make more money on you in the long run. Because you're going to start off taking everything into control, and eventually, like I said, you're going to be like, this month I had to keep a little bit of balance on my credit card. All right, I paid a little bit of interest for this month. It's not a little bit of interest. Once you pay 1 month of credit cards interest, you've wiped out whatever benefits or rewards you got for that year. I mean, even if it's only $1,000, at 10%, that's $100 in interest. Right, and $1,000 balance compared to $8,000, that's not that big, right? $8,000 being the average. Obviously, some people have 15, 20K in credit card balances, but in credit card debt. But that $1,000 at 10%, which your credit card bill is likely more than that. Now I know it's not. It's 10% a year or 20% a year, so you don't pay that $100 automatically. But the reality is, you pay so much money in interest in credit cards. It is just outstanding. It's ridiculous. So if you do keep that rolling balance, you're saying, hey, I pay it off mostly, and I keep a few $100s on there, and my balance is always less than $1,000. Whatever. Let's say it's $500 throughout the course of the year on average. At 20%, that's $200. That's $100. My bad. That's $100 that you paid in interest. Okay, you tell me you got more than that in rewards. Maybe the first year when you get those promotional, bonus 50,000 Sky Miles, but after that, you're not going to get more than $100 worth of Sky Miles. I mean, it's just not worth it. And so easily do people have much bigger balances than that, and they're just paying so much interest and trying to justify it, when reality is they just are buying things they can't afford. That's the simple reality of a credit card, is you're buying things you can't afford. Yeah, you can use it to build up your credit, and you can use it to get rewards, but that's not the reality for most people. That's why Papa Dave takes such an extreme stance and says never have them, throw them away, get rid of them, burn them down. You're just never going to use those credit cards. I want to know what all of you think. Do you like that idea of going 3 years without financing anything? Or do you think you can have credit cards before that? Do you think credit cards are a good idea, that you can take advantage of all those Sky Miles? Or do you think most people are better off without them? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Again, if you want to get a credit card and you say, hey, I know that I'm not going to spend interest ever, I'm never going to pay a penny of interest. First of all, if you want to do that, I will say, when you sign up, make sure you set up automatic payments, right? And say, hey, pay the balance in full automatically every month. And if the thought of doing that scares you, because you say, whoa, I don't want to, what if I don't have the money in my checking account? Okay, that sets off an alarm bell. That's a warning sign saying, hey, you're not ready for a credit card yet. Use that later. And everyone wants to be cool, and everyone wants to flash their sweet credit cards and their Platinum, Amex Express, and they want to think they're so cool. It doesn't make you cool. Anyone gets a credit card. They send them in the mail for free, right? It's the 18-year-olds. It's not a status symbol. It doesn't mean you're this awesome person. It's just a thing. And it's just like anything else. It doesn't make you better or worse. It's just an item. So if you think, hey, if I were to set up automatic payments for my credit card and say, hey, on the second day of every month, automatically, without me doing anything, I'm going to pay the balance in full, and that worries you because you think your checking balance might get a little too low, you're done. Don't do a credit card. You're not ready for it yet. Now, if you do think you can handle that, and you say, hey, no problem. I always have plenty of money. I keep a couple grand in my checking account at all times. Not a big deal if the credit card automatically pays because my balance will only be $500-600 anyway. Not a problem, right? You can set that up. Again, let's make sure you haven't financed anything over the last 3 years. I think that's a good rule of thumb. It's my own rule of thumb. There's no science behind it. It's just good to say, hey, do I have the behavior over a long period of time? Do I have a track record proving that I don't finance, I don't spend money I don't have? If so, sure. Go ahead and go get yourself some Sky Miles. Go get yourself some reward points or cash back, whatever you want to do. You can do that, but I would proceed with a lot of caution. And if you ever finance things, just say, hey, hold off. Let me prove to myself that you're not missing out. A year, guess what? 3 years from now, credit card companies are still going to be there. They're still going to be offering rewards. They're still going to be doing the same gamuts they've been doing for the past 20 years or longer, however old credit cards are. They're forever old. You're not going to miss out. So just relax, just breathe, say, hey, I'm going to pause. I'm going to cut off my credit cards. It's not going to destroy your credit. People want to say, oh my gosh, my credit score is going to go down the tubes if I don't have credit cards. It doesn't matter. Forget about all that. Just know you can go a couple years without having a credit card, and then just use a debit card, use cash, whatever you want to do, and then at that point, if you want to use a credit card, go get one. All right, go get one and know that you can handle it and you're not going to spend money you don't have. Appreciate the support. Hope you enjoy this video. Like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.